Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, and I'm here today with Life After Lockup, Season 6, Episode 12. Yeah, Episode 12. You know how they number these episodes. It's enough to make you fucking crazy. Sugar Daddy Drama. Well, let's get right into it and let's start off with the Sugar Daddy Drama. Okay, Will and Courtney. Will is just coming to terms with the fact that yes, Courtney was rearrested again, and yes, she has relapsed. She was arrested for GHB. Okay, and he's debating, whether he should drive all the way to Oregon from California to pick her up because yes, now she is being released. She was held for 2 weeks, and she's being released. And of course, she called Will to come and pick her up. So he calls his co-worker from the car and he lets him know that he's, going to drive to pick up Courtney. And his co-worker's like, dude, I think that's, a little dramatic to be driving from California to Oregon again for this chick that obviously doesn't give a shit again. So, remember they applied for the interstate compact? Well, that's out the window. That is totally out the window. The parole officer calls Will to let him know due to her violating her parole, the interstate compact has been denied. So Will is like, fuck my life. Okay. And he makes the greatest decision he could make. So Courtney walks out of jail and she's like, where's Will? Where's Will? What's going on? Where's my husband that I expect to be here at the drop of a dime, even though I fucked up? Where's Will? Will isn't there, but Mark, her sugar daddy's there. And I don't care what the fuck she says, okay? He is her sugar daddy, and he is creepy AF, okay? I picture him being on the offender list in some state. I would not want to be alone in a car with him, but considering that Will didn't show up, I guess she had to have a plan B, and it was this dude Mark. So she calls Will, and she's like, "Where are you? Why didn't you come and pick me up?" And he's like, because you don't listen. You never learn. I just wanted you to stay clean. That's all I wanted you to do, Courtney, was stay clean. Okay? She is doing nothing but fucking whining about he only sent her $300 while she was in jail. Now, wait a second. She was in jail for 2 weeks in Oregon and she couldn't live off of 300 bucks. Bitch, please. So she's arguing with Will. And of course, Mark had to make it known that he was there. So Will is like, wait a second. I hear a male voice in the background. Who is that? And she's like, Mark, my friend who loves me and forgives me. And Will is like, you know something? Okay, so you go with Mark, your friend who loves and forgives you, and basically you could fuck off, Courtney. Okay? So now Mark is like, come on, everything will be okay. Come on, Courtney. Come in my car. Don't worry. I'm not a creepy motherfucker. I won't, possibly turn around and try to assault you. Get into my car. It'll be okay. So he's driving her to the halfway house so she could get her shit because she has to go to a new halfway house since she violated in this one. And they're holding hands and she's complaining about her husband. Yeah, only on Life After Lockup. Okay. So she's basically whining how fucked up Will is, that he wasn't supporting her while she was in jail this time around, and all this other crazy shit. Basically, she's complaining like a whiny baby. And Mark is like, I will take care of you. I will take care of you financially, emotionally, definitely physically. Trust me, he wants to take care of her physically. And he's like, don't worry, everything will be okay. He gives her $60 because, She just walked out of prison, so she does need some money. And off she goes into the halfway house. Now, Courtney, old girl, she swears up and down, left and right, she has never slept with Mark. Bullshit. Bullshit. Sorry, I'm getting a bullshit attack. And that she will never sleep with Mark. Bullshit. Oh my God. So much bullshit flying around. Um, Stop lying. Okay? Just admit it. That's one of your sugar daddies that you have lined up for plan B, C, D, E, or F. Okay? So, girl, please. Now, moving on, Bianca and Daniel, fucking hot mess express. These two do not belong together. Just saying. So, Daniel's going through an old email and he realizes that he has a court date for an old shoplifting charge. And he basically has to go to court tomorrow. And Bianca's not necessarily upset about the charge, but she's upset about the fact that he is so irresponsible that he just found out about this court date and it's like the next day. And he's like, well, it was in an old email that I don't really check. And Bianca's like, yeah, well, that's my point. So he goes off to work. Bianca stays home, because she has her settlement. And I'm gonna say this, okay? I think Daniel is resentful that he has to go to work and Bianca chooses to stay home and not work and live off of her settlement. It's her money. If that's what she chooses to do, hey, more power to her. But Daniel resenting her for it is kind of bullshit. And Bianca is resenting Daniel being a man child. Okay, she doesn't want to have a man child. She wants to have a man. And honestly, who blames her? So Daniel goes off for his court date, okay? And this is an old Walmart shoplifting charge when he was a substance abuser back in the day. He used to do anything to, get money. So apparently shoplifting in Walmart was his thing. So this is what he's going to court for. This charge was from like 6 years ago or something before he went to prison. So Bianca is going off to the fancy pet store to meet her old neighbor Kate. Okay. Kate is like 10 years older than her. So she appreciates Kate basically for her life advice. So they're talking about basically how Daniel is a man child. And, Kate is like, it's time for him to mature. He is, much older than her. So, he should be at that maturity level. And she's just kind of worried that Bianca, is going to be stuck with a man child if things don't change soon. So, Daniel, for his part, has finished his court date and he's deciding that he's going to stay the night there. Okay, it's like I don't remember how long the drive is. It's like a 3 to 4 hour drive or something. So he's going to spend the night. So remember, he has a breathalyzer in his car, which is part of what's forcing him to take responsibility for his actions. Okay, so anyway, we have Q, D, and baby mama drama. Okay, so we're going to start off. Last episode, D went over to Jawilla's house to discuss why she doesn't want Q at her son's birthday party. Okay, Q's kids are fine, but Q, no. That's a solid no. Okay, Jawilla says. So that night, D came home at midnight. Okay, well, what the fuck was he doing over at Jawilla's house so late? Those kids are little, okay? They had their pizza. They should have brushed their teeth, tucked in bed by daddy, and then daddy goes home. What is daddy doing hanging out with baby mama so late? But I guess that's a question for Q and not for me, okay? So she's upset that Joella will not let her go to the birthday party. Her kids are fine, but she is not allowed to go. And the Modric starts getting really pissed off. The Modric's like, for once, can you two Stop with the bullshit. This is about my son. This is my son's first birthday party with his dad. Can you guys stop with the bullshit? If it's not Chihuahua talking about these messages, I'm sorry, talking about the pictures that you put up on Facebook, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Q? And Q is like looking at him like he has 10 heads. Listen, I get the Modric's point about all this, but if it wasn't for his messiness, neither one of these ladies would be fighting over him, okay? Because, in my opinion, and I don't care what the fuck he says, okay? He is feeding both of them a dream, okay? He has one type of relationship with Q. It's cute, playful, lighthearted, and he has another type of relationship with baby mama. And baby mama is letting everything spill as she's doing her cousin's makeup. Okay, Joella is in beauty school. Would her wig looking like this, her glasses all crooked? I don't know. But she's in beauty school. She has her little beauty line, okay? And she is letting the tea spill as she's doing her cousin's makeup. And she's basically telling her, I get messages from Demondrick saying that he misses me. He's always trying to slide up, into my messages. And so the producer asked her, when was the last time you guys slept together? And basically, she's alluding that it's been, not such a long time ago, and that he keeps coming back for more, and he keeps talking about the things that he's missing. I'm telling you, he's feeding both of them a fucking dream. She's like, well, maybe it's the faucet. Girl, he wants to have both of you. He wants his cake and eat it too. And he's the one that puts himself in these situations. Okay. So Q is at work. She's all smiling and happy, talking to her coworkers until she gets a mysterious phone call. All color literally drained from her face. She had her boss take her mic off. She went into the back room, into the bathroom or whatever. And the producer was like, Joella, I'm sorry, Juana, whenever you're ready, come out. What's going on? What kind of phone call does she get? Did baby mama find some pictures in Demondric's phone and post them to Facebook? Is it a tat for tat type thing? Well, I did watch the next episode, so I kind of do know what happened. But anyway, that's for my next recap. So, yeah, she got this mysterious phone call that caused her to rip off her mic, and she's hiding in the bathroom. Moving on to Goofy and Juju. Okay. Um, Last episode, we learned that Juju wants a 60K big fat Guyanese wedding, and Goofy wants to invest 100K in a unisex barbershop slash beauty shop experience. You will receive a $250 haircut at this place. But it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. But we'll get into that in a second. Okay. So these two have taken up boxing. Okay. And Justine thinks that he should take Melody to these boxing classes that they're doing because Melody has a lot of pent up anger. We learned in the first episode that she gave one of her classmates the 1-2, and Mike is starting to see that she has a lot of pent up anger, and it's most likely due to all the years that he was incarcerated during her formative years. So he knows he has to have a conversation with her, but it's like, it's not a conversation he wants to have. So they're at the gym. Okay. Mike is holding the bag while Justine is punching the shit out of it. And Mike brings up that he has set up a business meeting with his boy Jay to talk about this barbershop, beauty shop experience. And Justine just starts hitting the fucking bag harder. And she's like, what do you mean you set up a meeting. I really don't care, if this is going to have anything to do with my wedding budget. I don't want to know nothing about it. Okay. So she reluctantly agrees to go to this damn meeting. And Mike is like trying to blow up this whole experience and how it's going to be the flyest barbershop, beauty shop in all of Vegas and blah, blah, blah. And as you can see, Justine couldn't give two flying shits. She's just going along for the ride. So they go in, they sit in a conference room with his business partner slash Jay. Okay. And, Jay explains this was one of the spaces that they were considering. Mike didn't like the space. Mike wants the space to be more open. Okay. And they have to find the right space. So him and Jay are talking, and Justine is like, how much is all this going to cost? And he's like, 100K. And she's like, did you say 100,000? And he's trying to convince her that it's an investment, okay? And that maybe instead of doing the big fat guy at his wedding for 60K first, that they just hold back a second, okay? Let him invest 100K in this barbershop experience. And then once the money starts rolling in and they make their money back, then they could take the profit and have their big fat guy in his wedding. Justine is not having any of it. Okay. If this is going to interfere with her wedding, she doesn't want to hear nothing about it. She gets up, she leaves. Mike is like, wait a second, where are you going? And she's like, away from you, you dumb motherfucker. And that's where their segment ends. And I cannot wait until next week when they're arguing. That shit is funny as fuck. Okay. Justine does not want to have anything to do with anything that will interfere with her big fat Guyanese wedding. Yeah, okay. Moving on. I want to know if Montana Mills's net worth is supposedly $20 million according to this site. Then what is the problem with having both the big fat Guyanese wedding and investing 100K into this barbershop experience? Okay, because as you guys may or may not have seen on my last video, Montana Mills is worth 20 million. Isn't that the funniest shit you ever heard? Okay, you know what's the funniest shit I ever heard? Brooke and JK thinking that they're a power couple and that they're actually going to last. So JK wants to buy this truck because he wants to do like short distance trucking as opposed to those truckers that go across the country and they're gone for weeks and weeks. No, he wants to do like um the short term, I guess they call it, trucking, where he could be home the same night or the next night. His father meets up with them, and that was part of his issue when he was younger, is that his dad was one of those long-term truckers, and he will be gone for like weeks at a time. And JK said that there was times that he really didn't feel his father's love. His father, for his part, first of all, looks better than JK. Okay. Um, you know, the guy is an older man, probably my age or a few years older, and he looks better than his son. Okay. Let's put that out there first of all. Secondly, he has a lot of guilt when it comes to JK and a lot of pain. And it is written all over his face. And he has a tattoo of his son's name. The only tattoo that he has on his body is his son's name. And he said it hurt him deeply to see that his son was in prison, and that's why he wasn't really there for him. So JK and his dad, talk about opening their own trucking business. They have a nice talk. Everything is great with JK and his dad, and that's fantastic. It is important to you know, talk to family members, make amends for these recently released inmates. I think it's important for them to do so. And JK basically making up with his dad, putting it all out there about how he felt, his dad talking about how he felt. That's the way it should be. Now, Bonnie, on the other hand, being a little rat ass bitch, is that's not the way it should be. But hey, are you surprised? I'm not. Last episode, Brooke confided in Bonnie, who was JK's longtime friend. They were like boyfriend and girlfriend when they were teenagers. And Brooke's roommate. Okay, I would think being Brooke's roommate supersedes being JK's friend, considering that's a roof over her head. But anyway, she confided in her and told her that she didn't have a job. And as soon as Brooke walked out the door, I swear the door didn't even hit her in the ass yet. Bonnie was on her phone texting JK to come over there. So she asked JK, "Do you know where Brooke is right now?" And he checks his watch and he's like, "She should be at work." And Bonnie's like, "Nope. She don't have a job. She lost her job, JK." So what is Brooke doing? She's in JK's mother's kitchen trying to make a meatloaf. Trying is the key word here, because the result, ugh, I would not touch it with a 10-foot fork. Okay? Anyway, I feel really bad for Kathy, JK's mom, because these crazy people have taken over her house. I bet you her house was so peaceful before JK came home from prison and Brooke moved in. Okay? I don't blame her hiding in her room. The poor woman works two jobs. Okay? And she has to come home to fucking chaos. What fucking chaos? Well, today, JK walks in, gives Mama a hug. He has a takeout box from Bonnie's place. Okay. Brooke is like, "I made dinner. Aren't you going to eat my meatloaf?" And I'm thinking, nobody's eating your meatloaf. That shit is gross. Okay. But, JK's like, "Nah, I got my own food. I don't need your food." And Brooke is like, "What's wrong? Why are you acting so weird?" Because I hate liars. You're lying to me. She's like, "Me? What am I lying to you about? You don't have a job." And he storms out. I feel sorry for Kathy. Okay. Kathy is like, "What? Are you kidding me? You don't have a job and you're lying to him about it? You cannot base a relationship on a foundation of lies." And I know she's thinking in her head, "Please get the fuck out of my house, you crazy fucking people." Okay. So JK goes outside, starts puffing the shit out of his vape. He is pissed. He's really pissed. But you know something? JK, you don't have a job either. So I get it that you're pissed that she lied to you, but you shouldn't be that pissed that she doesn't have a job. Okay. So he's like, the whole thing about it with you, Brooke, is that you don't know how to deal with responsibility. This is like what? Your fifth job in the past 5 months or something. And Brooke is like, "At least I get jobs, unlike you. And at least I don't lie about major things, unlike you." And they get into a huge fight. He's like, "Get the fuck out of my mama's house." She's like, "I will." And I bet you Kathy is sitting there at the table, staring at something that is supposed to be meatloaf in front of her, going, "Hang on, just take me away." So, like I said, like I've been saying, I should say, JK and Brooke, I do not think they're together at all. JK got some new teeth, by the way, guys, but I do not think they're together at all. So now, finally, Leticia and Keith, and I'm just going to sigh. And you guys probably know why I'm sighing, but if you don't, I'll get into it at the end of their segment. So basically, Tish got a limo to pick Keith up from prison. They can't take the limo back all the way to the halfway house. They have to get on the bus, but they're going to have fun in the limo before they get on the bus. So Keith is like, "We have to be back at the halfway house at a certain time or whatever." Keith takes Tish's 3,000 suitcases and they get on the bus. It's a long bus ride, but they finally arrive home and everyone is waiting for them at the bus station. These are some really nice scenes for Keith, having his whole family. his mom, uh, his stepmom, his dad, his sister, the girls, everybody waiting for him at the bus station. I thought that this was a really nice, heartwarming scene for Keith, to see that and to see how much he misses family. His family misses him. He says he is not going back, and something, I believe him. His wife, on the other hand, but I believe that he will not go back to prison. Okay, so now it's time to drop him off at the co-ed halfway house. Now remember, Tish totally trusts Keith, but she doesn't trust those bitches in a halfway house. Okay, so just to make sure, she's gonna walk her man in so everybody sees from the get-go that he's taken. So I'm just sighing because I feel like now the off screen news is going to take away from the heartwarming scenes that Keith had on this week's episode. Okay. I don't know if I'm just a sap and I like shit like that, but seeing the inmates reunite with their families, making amends, all that stuff, I in particular like watching that stuff. And I am annoyed that due to life choices that Leticia makes, that the spotlight is being taken off of that and put on her and her life choices once again. So Leticia was arrested yesterday on some outstanding warrants. Don't ask me why she looks like this in her mugshot. I saw a post that she made the other day about embracing her natural hair. So I guess that's what she's doing. But yeah, she was arrested yesterday on outstanding warrant. She is currently in custody on a $40,600 cash bond, which kind of like strikes me in my chest right now because all I could think about is Keith and her girls and how they're dealing with this. And the charges are forgery, identity theft over $1,000. These are two felony charges, no insurance and no registration. So yeah, so that's what's going on with Leticia off screen now. This happened yesterday, Saturday, the 9th. She is still currently in custody. So I will let you guys know any updates once I know. But all I have to say is so, anyway, thank you so much for watching me, guys. Please subscribe if you don't already. Hit the like button. Share my video with a friend or 10. Please consider joining my membership and check out my merchandise. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye, everyone.